Now the next kind of an erosional landform, or the landform which is formed due to erosion, is again very interesting kind of a landform. It is known as an oxbow lake. Oxbow lake. Again, it is associated with the process of an meandering. Now here this oxbow lake is associated with the process of meandering. Now suppose this is a river which is meandering. In the lower course of a river, the river meanders to a greater extent. If this meandering river is there, and in the lower course this meandering river meanders to a greater extent. So over the period of time, due to, as we have seen in the meanders, due to erosion, due to deposition, this meanders will become more and more bending and more sinuous, and as a result, over the period of time, now consider this part. Here you can see the two loops of the meander are very near to each other. So over the period of time, the two loops of the meander will be they will intersect, resulting into river becoming straight again. So if these two loops of the meander intersect here, the river will become straight, and as a result of this, it will abandon the loop . Why the river is becoming straight here? Because the river follows the path of least resistance, or the most shortest method. So as a result of here, when the river is flowing, due to the flow of the river, this meandering will increase, and then the river will go here. Again this erosion will increase, and over the period of time, these two loops will intersect and the river will take the straight path. What about this part? It will be cut out from the river will take a straight path, and this will cut out into form an lake, which over the period of time will degenerate, will become swampy, because it has no connection with the fresh water. Such a lake is known as an oxbow lake because of its horseshoe shape. The lakes which are then, what is an oxbow lake? The lake which is formed due to the intersection of a meander. In which part? In youthful, mature, or in the older stage? Obviously in the older stage of a river valley, the lake which is formed due to the intersection of a meanders or loops of the meander is an oxbow lake. This is just a rough diagram. I will give you a better diagram. So in the lower course, meandering increases, obviously. Therefore the loops of the meander become almost circular, they become almost circular, and consequently they join, and consequently they join. This results into river flowing straight, and abandoning and abandoning the loop to form Oxbow Lake. Form Oxbow Lakes. Abandoning the loops to form then Oxbow Lakes. In the second diagram, there will be, consequently they will be joined, and then the river will flow straight, while the abandoned lake is known as an Oxbow Lake. So these are the three different kinds of a diagram for the formation of an Oxbow Lake. So initially increased meander, they start becoming circular, over the period of time they will intersect, and then the river will flow straight, resulting into this abandoning of one of the loop, because river will follow the path of least resistance or the shortest method, and then resulting into formation of an Oxbow Lake. Now this Oxbow Lake, because they are abandoned, they are also known as cutoffs. Why cutoffs? Not related to our exam cutoffs. This cutoff, that is, it is cutting off a loop, cutoffs or bayous in Mississippi River Basin. Where is this river? USA, the longest river of and the most important river of USA. So they are known as cutoffs or bayous in the Mississippi River Basin, USA. And over the period of time, because this once the lake is cut off, it does not have a supply of fresh water. So over the period of time, this lake will degenerate, it will become swamp, it will die over the period of time. Therefore, they are also known as Mort Lake. That means dead lakes. They are also known as Mort Lake, meaning dead lakes. Also known as Mort Lake, meaning dead lakes. Now the last erosional feature is an peneplain. peneplain. Why it is an erosional feature? Because what we have already done according to W.M. Davis, this is the last feature of a cycle of an erosional. This is the end of erosional cycle. Why? Because this is the end of life cycle of a river. The river is so slow here that it does not have the velocity, and therefore the river does not have the erosive power. That means it becomes the end of a river. End of a river does not mean drying of a river. It means the river has reached into an older age. So the vast featureless, not having feature, means a flat plain. Vast featureless plain is known as an peneplain. What it is, it will be having some, because of the difference in the rocks, it will be having some kind of an isolated hills. It will be having some kind of an, so if this is a mountain and this region, then if there is a vast plain having some isolated hills, such a structure is known as an peneplain. So what is a peneplain? A flat featureless plain. A flat featureless plain. Which is having an isolated hills. What are these isolated hills known as? Previous lecture, normal cycle of erosion. They are known as monadnocks. Known as monadnocks. So a flat featureless plain having isolated hill is known as an peneplain. Why it is formed? Because it is an end product of normal cycle of erosion. So if you can see here, this is a vast plain having some kind of an isolated hill, what we will call this as a monadnocks. That means this is an end product of a cycle of erosion. Why this monadnocks? Why this hill is remaining here? Why? Because the earth surface. Why it is not a flat surface? Because the earth surface is not made up of same kind of an rock. Some rocks are relatively more resistant than the other rocks. These hills are due to that more resistant rock which cannot be completely eroded. Example, take a vehicle, go from Delhi to any kind in the vast plain region, in the alluvial plain regions, that is, go to central UP, go to Bihar, go to Bengal, not the Darjeeling side, the lower side here. You will see the same kind of a topography, straight road, same kind of a topography. On the horizon you will see the trees. But why? Because it is an extremely flat plain. But if you go to the Western Ghat region, if you go to the Peninsular Plateau region, you will see, if you go to the Deccan Lava Plateau region, after going for some certain time, you will come, there will be ghats or passes, that is the mountains where the road becomes winding as it goes up the mountain. Then you will be coming down from the mountain. Same again, after going a certain distance, you will see that there are large big mountains everywhere, or isolated mountains are at least present. In the horizon, because it is not an alluvial soil, you will see in the horizon, especially in the drier parts of the Peninsular Plateau, you will see sky and the earth meeting. Again it is a featureless plain. Again it is an example of a plain in the Telangana Vidarbha region, but in the western part of a Peninsular Plateau you will see ghats, you will see mountains, you will see valleys. Himalayan region, valleys. Why? Youthful stage. Mountainous region, northeast, valleys, youthful stage. But in the plain region, flat boring landscape. In the end part of a Godavari region, end part of Krishna river, again same boring flat region having normal trees. Boring in the sense only in the terms of scenic sceneries. So the peneplain is a featureless plain. Now remember, there were numerous geographers who gave different kinds of theories. The word peneplain was used by W.M. Davis in his normal theory of erosion. So if you remember, the vast featureless plain having isolated hills, which is an end product of erosion, of a normal cycle of erosion, was called peneplain by W.M. Davis. Was called peneplain by W.M. Davis. So these are the erosional landforms which we have done. Now coming to the depositional landforms. Coming to the depositional landforms. The first depositional kind of a landform is alluvial fan or alluvial cone. Where is it formed? Why it is formed? Previous lecture. It is formed when the river from the mountainous region suddenly enters the plains. Because of the river entering the plain region, there is a decrease in the velocity of a river. Due to decrease in the velocity of a river, its transportation capacity decreases, and as a result of this, it starts depositing rather than eroding. What it will deposit? It will deposit the heaviest sediments, the largest sediments first, then the second largest, then the fine sediments, and then afterwards the finer sediments. That means there are larger, medium, finer, extremely finer sediments. That means there is a sorting of the sediments. River undergoes sorting. It sorts the sediments according to the size. First at the foothill of a mountain, the larger sediments, then as you go away, the medium sediments, then as you go away, the later on medium sediments. So that means this alluvial fan is formed due to deposition by the river, due to decrease in the speed of a river. There is a sorting of the sediments in an alluvial fan. How do you see the sorting of the sediments? Where does the river Ganga enter the plains? At which place? It's a holy place known as Haridwar, Rishikesh Haridwar region. Go there, whenever you will go there, or even if you have gone there, remember what it is found. Are there stones found, larger stone found, or is it a fine sand found? What you will find there is a larger stones. What you will find there is a very, very larger stones. Why? Because it is a perfect example of an alluvial fan. In India, such alluvial fan is known as the Bhabar region, where big stones are deposited, and because the river cannot jump over those big stones, the river flows underground. So it is, this area is at the foot of a mountain. So and why it is alluvial fan? Because it is a fan shape. It is a cone shape. That is, as soon as the river from the mountainous region enters the plain region, there is increase in the area which rivers can get to flow. So as a result of this, the river spreads and the cone-like structure is formed, which is known as an alluvial fan or alluvial cone. So what is an alluvial fan? It is formed due to river deposition. How it is formed due to river deposition? When the river enters from the mountainous region, when the river comes from the mountainous region, there is sudden decrease in the velocity of a river, and as a result of this, river will start depositing the sediments. Initially bigger sediments, then middle size, then finer sediments, then smaller, and as you see here, the size of the sediment will go on becoming smaller and over then least small. Such kind of a structure. Now because the sediments are very large, river cannot jump, river being fluid, it flows through this kind of an sediment that it is flows underground during the normal season. It is only during the rainy season when there is a too much increase in the volume of a river is generally seen flowing through the surface, or if the stones are at a gap, river is seen flowing through over the gaps. Otherwise it is at the foothills, and then after that when the sediments become finer, the river is seen as it is something emerging from below the ground. In India we call such region, this region where the river is not seen, where there is a very stony region, as a Bhabar region along the foothills of the Himalayas, and this region as Tarai region. That is parallel to the Bhabar. Why along the foothills of the Himalayas? Because in India, why it is known as, because India, this is the Himalayan region, and when the river comes from the Himalayan region, it is flowing through the valleys, and after coming at the plain, the river starts meandering, and because of the meandering it increases, and therefore it becomes a fan shape. There is more and more increase in the volume of a river, it becomes an fan shape. There is several such fans are found in the Himalayan region. So this region is known as a. So what is an alluvial fan? It is formed due to the deposition. What kind of a deposition? Deposition of the sediments brought down by the river. Why there is a deposition? Deposition due to decrease in the velocity of a river. And subsequent decrease in the carrying capacity. In the carrying capacity of an river. In the carrying capacity of a river. Due to fall in the slope or due to fall in the gradient. Gradient means slope. What happens in an alluvial fan? There is a sorting of the sediments in an alluvial fan. What do you mean by sorting of the sediments? That means the coarse or the larger materials are first deposited and then the finer materials are deposited. That means the coarse materials. First and then fine materials are deposited. Then the finer materials are deposited. Now what can we conclude from this? That the larger materials are deposited first and then the finer materials are deposited. We can conclude that the size of the sediments decrease outwards. Outward means from the mountain outside towards the plain, the size of the sediments goes on decreasing. That means the size of the sediments. The size of the sediments decrease outwards in an alluvial fan. Or we can write in a simple English, goes on decreasing as we move away from the base of a mountain. as we move away from the foot of a mountain. What is a cone? How is the cone and fan different? More steeper and the more larger alluvial fan is known as a cone. There is no difference, it is the difference of only size. It is the difference of only formation. Steeper and larger fans are known as cones. Are you comfortable why it is known as cones? Why it is known as fans? Because the size of the sediments, it spreads as we move outside. Now, just for your general knowledge, just you should know that is the earth only place in the universe where there is an alluvial fan? Alluvial fan means what? There is a presence of a river, or there is a presence of a glacier, or there is a presence of a moving water. That is why there is an alluvial fan. Water signifies life, and we in the process are always in the search of new place where there is a life form in the universe. Recently, Stephen Hawking has launched a big project to find aliens. Aliens means any kind of a living being, not our idea of extraterrestrial, super intelligent human, super intelligent race. It can be any kind of an living thing outside the space. So has our discoveries, has our satellites, or have the rovers which go outside in the search in the space, have they discovered alluvial fans? In fact, they have. Alluvial fans have been discovered on the Mars by Curiosity rover, which was orbiting Mars. Have been discovered on Mars. By what was the rover? What was the name of a rover? By Curiosity rover. Which was sent on Mars. So that means there is a possibility of life on the red planet Mars. Curiosity rover, and also the alluvial fans have been discovered on Titan. What was the name of a mission? By Cassini-Huygens mission. What is Titan? Titan is the largest moon of Saturn. Titan is the largest moon of Saturn. So these are the two regions where there have been discovery of an alluvial fans. Now the next kind of a depositional landform is the natural levees. Is the natural levees. The natural levees. Now what are these natural levees? These are along the river channel. River channel is always having a small hill or mound like structure which is on the two sides of a channel. I am not talking of a structural bench which was an erosional landform. It is a valley inside valley topography. Natural levees are something different. Consider this situation. During the normal times, this is the normal flow of a river during the normal times. That is, the river is flowing through a channel during the normal times. Now consider during the flood season. What will happen during the flood season? During the flood season, there will be increase in the volume of a river and the river will overflow through the channel. When the increase in the water, so what happens here? Look again here during the flood season. Obviously there is increase in the river channel and the river water crosses the river channel and it floods the surrounding regions. That is why it is known as a flood. And it enters the surrounding region. During the flood, so during the flood times, so the second diagram is during the flood, the first diagram is during the normal time. Now what you remember in your normal cycle of erosion? Increase in volume. During the flood, does it increase in, there is increase in volume? Yes. There is increase in velocity or not? Yes. So increase in volume and increase in velocity increases the erosive power of a river and therefore there are lot of sediments which are carried by the river. Now during the flood times these sediments will be deposited on this land. So after the flood, after the recession of a flood, how this land will look like? That is, again the river is becoming normal, the river channel is becoming normal. The river has come back to its original position, but it has deposited lot of sediments which it carried during the flood. These sediments are deposited on the sides of the channel. These are the sediments which are deposited. Such sediments which are deposited are known as natural levees. During next flood, more and more sediments deposited. So the height of the natural levees will increase. So if this is a river channel, you will see surrounding the river channel there will be hill-like structure surrounding this river channel in any kind of an river channel. That is why the river is said to be flowing through an kind of an depression. So these are narrow, sinus narrow ridges. Why they are sinus? Because they also meander like river. Why? Because they are just found along the river channel. So sinus narrow ridges. Sinus narrow ridges. Sinus narrow ridges along the river channel are known as natural levees. How are they formed? During the normal times, this is just you can draw directly this in the examination. They are formed during the flood times. Why? Because during the flood times, river is carrying too much sediments and this get deposited on the channel of a river along the river channel. So they are formed due to deposition of sediments along this river on the sides of a river during the flood times. formed due to deposition of sediments during the floods. Now, what is the importance of natural levees? If the next time flood comes, they will help, they will obviously give some protection. If it is a normal flood, they will offer some protection because they will prevent the water from crossing the river channel, because over the period of time, the height of this levees is going to increase. So they protect the surroundings during the flood times. But obviously not during the catastrophic flood. During the dangerous flood, these are helpless, but they help in protection of and surroundings. On this, to protect during the floods, we also construct walls which are known as, on the natural levees we construct walls which are known as embankments. We'll come to it later on during the Indian geography part. Walls are constructed which are known as embankments. Now, what is the importance of human settlement? During the flood time, new sediment, new soil is being deposited. This area is covered during the flood time. So obviously some kind of this entire area, that is the continuation of this area, it will, whatever the area is covered under the flood, it will have high groundwater. Why? Because every year during the annual floods, groundwater is replenished. Groundwater is pushed. There is a groundwater is recharged, we can say. So obviously these are the areas of human settlement, which not the natural levees, the surrounding areas surrounding the natural levees, this area, and they are agriculturally also most important areas. So what is the importance? They help in checking the floods, and another importance is area is good for agriculture. The surrounding area is good for agriculture due to high groundwater. High groundwater. So the important points are: first, this long narrow ridges, sinus ridges along the river channel are known as natural levees. They are the depositional landforms. Why? Because they are formed due to deposition of sediments during the floods. You can see from diagram B and C. What is the human importance? They help in checking the floods, normal floods. But the surrounding regions, they are rich in groundwater, therefore they are good for agriculture purposes. The last kind of a depositional landform is depositional landform is in delta. What is a delta? Delta is when the river enters the sea. It forms a kind of, and when this river is entering near the sea, at the end of life cycle, it distributes, it bifurcates into numerous distributaries, and then it meets the sea water through the different channels, having various shape. Such a triangular shaped formation at the mouth of a river, when it enters the sea, is known as an delta. So almost triangular shaped feature at the mouth of a river when river enters the sea. C is delta. Obviously, according to the shapes, there are different types of a delta. We will do it as a simple and a small topic. Therefore, we will do it as a separate topic. It is very simple and very small, but it will obviously require lot of examples. And these are the questions then asked in the preliminary examination. What are the conditions for delta formation? What are the different types of delta? But before I start with delta, I will start with the next topic, that is river capture, river rejuvenation. So we have done with the riverine landforms, distinguish between the erosional and the depositional landforms, and along with the I have given you some kind of an examples. Don't commit the mistakes, because generally the question will be which of the following is an erosional landform. V-shaped valley, delta, then meanders, and lastly alluvial fans, AB, ABC, something like that, or we pick the odd one out. So we will have to be very careful here. So again, we will now start with river. With the next topic is now river rejuvenation and river capture. We'll start it as a separate topic. You can take some break. Thank you.